Alright, we can do this without a calculator.
What?
The reason I see that is because of the square roots 2's and the square roots 3's. Okay? So, and everything comes down, I think everything's going to come down to hopefully 1 and halves and that. If that's true, we'll do it without a calculator. If not, we'll throw it in the calculator and see. Okay? These should all come out to be 30, 60, 90 reference angles. But then we'll figure out where they are in reference to the angles. Get it? Reference. I'm here all week. Okay. So, what we're going to do is divide by -6.
Okay.
Right? So what that does is give us square root of 2 over 2, right? Equals the sine of theta. Okay?
Huh?
Now the sine of theta, right?
Okay.
So the sine of theta is equal to the square root of 2 over 2. Now let's think about that. They're positive, right? So when we talk about the square root of 2, we're talking about this guy. X square root 2, right? So we're either talking about this angle. Ooh, I cracked that pin. This angle, this angle, this angle, or this angle.
So complete triangle.
Yeah, so we got to figure out which one we're talking about. Okay? Because it's the square root of 2, that's a hypotenuse, that'll always be positive. Over 1/2, that means over 1 over 2, right? That means one of them's a 1, and one of them's a 2. Okay? So, well, that doesn't seem right. Oh, no. Okay, I see what it's saying. Okay, so if one of them's 1, then the other one's 2. Okay, so that's what it's saying. So, oh, because it's really, oh, I see. So it's really, this is what it is. It's really over the square root of 2. Right? Because we could take this down here and take that away. This and this are the same. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's 1 over the square root of 2. And if we think about that, that means one of these are 1. This is the square root of 2. That means it has to go in a positive direction. The 1 is a positive direction. Now, it's either up or it's out. And we have to decide what it's going to be. So we think of sine. What is sine?
Opposite over hypotenuse.
Opposite over hypotenuse. Right? So, this is theta. This is opposite. This is the hypotenuse. This would be opposite also, right? But that would be negative. You see what I mean? So it cannot be this one. This would be opposite, but that would be negative. So it cannot be that one. But this is opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's positive also, correct? So it could be this one. Okay? So we're talking about a 45-degree angle that's either here or here. Now think about that. There's a lot of different ones that it could be. Okay? If we're talking about a positive angle, we're talking about 45 degrees. We're talking about 90 plus 45, which is 135. Right? So those are both possible. But what if we were talking about, it says to go with angles from 0 to 360. Right? So it didn't say to do negative angles. If we were going to do negative angles, do you see how we would do negative angles? Here.
Yeah.
And here.
But
See
then
that? Right? So, and if we were going to do, instead of the 360, if we were going to go all the way to 720, right? then we would go all the way around back to here. Does that make sense? But it didn't tell you that. It just said 360. So all we're worried about is these two angles right there. Okay? So, those are your two angles. 45 and 35. We'll check the answer in the back of the book. 45 and 135. Sorry about that. What problem is that?
15.
15, right?
Yeah.
45 and 135 is the answer. What? Okay. Now the next one.
Wait, hold up.
Should I pause it?
Yeah.
That was a long time, right?
Yeah.